Readings-Zelda, Link's End. Link was getting tired from walking so long. Link is a young boy who came from the Plague Forest. In order to survive, he had to abandon his friends. It was already too late to save them. "How much longer, Navi?" Link asked to the other survivor, Navi. She was a little blue female fairy. "It shouldn't be long," she assured. "But it's almost night. We have to get there quickly." As the two ran across a great field of grass, they suddenly stopped to look at something. It appeared to be a man on the ground, possibly dead. "Are you okay? What happened?" said Link to the man. In his last of his strength, he said, "Gen..." and then stopped. It was silent. "He was gone," said Navi solemnly. Link felt a horrible, horrible feeling coming over him. "Did he say Ganondorf?" Link whispered. "I think so," replied Navi. "Do you know him?" Link smashed his sword straight into the ground. He stole it before he left, so he could protect himself. "He's the one we're looking for, Navi. He did this. He's the reason everyone is dead. He's the reason we're stuck in this situation. We have to survive off of whatever we can steal. Thanks to him, we've gone from average Kokiri to petty thieves." Link looked up and noticed it was already really dark across the field. "We're too late," said Navi, shocked. "We gotta hurry." They ran as fast as they could towards a great big wall. Giant flaming torches were the only thing that could help them see. There were two guards on the other side of the moat around the wall. "Let us in, please," pleaded Link. "We're not letting your plague inside these walls," said the first guard. "For all I care, you could get eaten by the Stalfos." Stalfos were terrifying skeleton-like creatures with rotting flesh still hanging from their dead bodies. They were extremely dangerous, but were sensitive to light and would burn from it. Therefore, they only come out at night. "What do you mean, plague? We're not diseased like the rest. If we were, we wouldn't have traveled for 4 days looking for this place. Let us in!" Link was terrified by the noises he heard coming from behind him. "Never! If we did, they'd get in." The guards kept a firm eye on the creatures burrowing from behind. Then, they finally came. Link turned around in horror to see those unbelievable creepy monsters. 4 blood-covered nightmare-fueled skeletons came up from behind. He grabbed the sword and stood prepared. One jumped towards him, yet he lunged through it. It seemed somewhat damaged, yet swiped at Link's face in fury. He had one huge scar trailing down his face, bleeding from how deep it was. He sliced through its skull and the whole skeleton set alight. It burned until there was nothing left but ashes, covered in Link's blood. No one knew how to defeat Stalfos before, and now that Link knew how to do so, he felt a surge of courage go through him. He did a spin attack and sliced through him. 2 caught on fire, yet 1 lived. Link planted the sword in his head. The guards watched in awe as this young forest kid had destroyed 4 nightmare monsters. "Let me in, now!" Link was getting annoyed, knowing that Link wouldn't take no for an answer. They opened the gate. "Thank you," said Link, swinging his sword as if to taunt the guards. Link and Navi sat under a tree to rest. "What was that?" asked Navi. "I never knew you were so good at sword fighting." Link pulled a smug smile. "I never knew either, since it's my first time." It slowly began to get brighter over this dull town, and shortly afterwards people came from their houses. After 10 minutes it was booming. It was booming and lively. He went around town to ask about Ganondorf. He managed to find out where he was visiting his castle on political matters. "Okay, Navi, we gotta get to the castle." They ran north of Castletown, the town's name, to a giant gate with a single guard standing in his post. "No one shall enter without permission from the royal family," said the guard sternly. "There's a criminal in that castle. We've come to get him," said Navi. "I don't care. None shall pass without permission. If there is a criminal inside, we'll get him. The guard blocked his path. Link climbed up a small hill and jumped down the gate. He then snuck past 2 guards by hiding behind the trees. There was one more gate, and he used a nearby ledge to jump over it. He hid behind a nearby tree and saw a shadowy figure riding an evil-looking horse come through. Link waited for the right moment, and then dashed through the doors and hid behind some jars. Sneaking behind the man, Link came into a giant throne room. He hid behind the flower pots at the door and observed. "Ganondorf, you've arrived," said a man standing in the middle of the room. He was the king. "Yes, and as we discussed," said Ganondorf slyly, as Link grew angrier just by looking at him again. He had seen him once before. You see, 5 days ago, Link was still living in the forest. They had a peaceful life until that day, that very day, that Ganondorf came. He had come to the forest looking for a jewel. Then he would do anything to get it. He had to bring the plague of diseases upon the village of Kokiri. Link and Navi had to steal from others to live for 4 days after, and now he was here. Link was waiting for the right moment to jump forward and slice him in two. "I'm afraid we cannot accept your offer, Ganondorf. It's precious to the royal family, but we cannot simply agree," said the king. A little girl was standing at the window, watching when she suddenly noticed Link. She felt like she knew him from somewhere, and therefore didn't call the guards. Ganondorf got mad at the king's statement. He grabbed his sword out, and Link quickly attempted to attack Ganondorf, but Ganondorf was faster. He sliced through Link in one fatal swoop. The girl watched in horror as he was bleeding to death. Ganondorf then continued to attack the king, murdering him on the spot. He looked at the little girl who was standing there crying for her loss, and said, "Give me the ocarina, and no one gets hurt."